have no idea how long this is going to last, this battery. So
Well, you're better off. Oh, yeah.
hey man, can we get the house music down then? Can we have the house music come down?
Okay, so you're gonna go on?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my big job.
Well, just, yeah. Where is that?
This guy.
Oh, I just thought there was a dial somewhere, like a...
This is they paid me like $300 just to turn
To just what?
turn the sound down.
Oh, yeah, to turn the sound down.
I'm just kidding.
Down to minus 11. Negative 11, sir.
He's the only, so what do you want it to be down to?
Gone.
Well, like off.
Yeah, yes please. All right. Welcome one and all to a paper press presentation. My name is Yusuf Halloween. And thank you, little applause for all of you for showing up. Thank you. Oh man. We're all here. This is not my night. This is K.R. Morrison's very first published. Yeah, you need more volume back there? Can you hear us?
Yeah, a little bit. I think you need a little bit more, yeah.
It's like, hello, check one. Yeah, so it's like, if I turn the wrong knob, we're going to get distortion or echo, and this amp's really wild. It's kind of got a mind of its own, so if I start space echoing during this, it's the mind of the amplifier and not mine. So K.R. Morrison's first poetry book.
Yeah!
Congratulations. It was a lot. It was great. It was a lot of fun. I told her a number of times that I'm actually I'm very qualified to have published this book, and we did a great cooperative effort. So I've got a little speech. I just want to run through this. I want to say there are 13 poems in this collection. And the number 13 is considered lucky. In China, the sound of the number actually in Chinese is similar to the word for assured growth or definitely vibrant. In tarot, number 13 is the death card in the major arcana or arcana. Symbolically, death does not mean the death of an individual or the querent. Death means the death of a struggling period, thus making way for the new beginning. Number 13 brings up the test of the self, end to suffering, and death of the moment. It symbolizes the death to current circumstances, an event, or to one's old shell, and birth or rebirth of spirit, indicating passage to a higher plane of understanding. If you guys know KR's work, you know why I'm saying this stuff.
Yes.
In numerology, number 13 resonates with pragmatism and building a secure foundation. It's a number of focus and pragmatism. Its primary focus is building a secure foundation for the future. So here's what I wanted to say. In my family, my grandfather on my mother's side was liberated from the concentration camps on August 13, 1945. And he held this number close to his heart. It was very important to him, the number 13. So it's important for me and my family and my heritage as well. Later he married my grandmother, and her name is Bella. So the B, he bought her a silver bracelet with the letter B on it, which is basically a 1 with a 3. So she is his lucky 13. And they're both passed now. So if you haven't seen this book yet, I invite you to pick up a copy, savor it, buy it, share it with people, have KR sign it for you. We have 13 special posters for tonight only. Would you hold up a poster? And they're beautiful, and they will go to you in your home for $5, man.
Signed! It's
And
signed!
they're signed, and maybe we should number them 1 to 13.
With a
That would-
sigil.
With a sigil, and maybe 1 to 13, you know, number on them. That'd be cool. So like limited edition, you're never gonna see this again, and paper press, okay, to you and love to you. So yeah, this book, the event of creating Cauldrons was a very special meeting of the minds. This book was not done alone or in a vacuum. Paul Corman Roberts did initial edits and gave advice. Kim Shuck wrote an amazing foreword. And MK, Tureeda, and William's words of admiration and encouragement were amazing and inspiring. And tonight we have Tureeda, Kim, William, and Paul here to read for us. And I thank each of them for participating in the building of this memorable book. There's a complimentary copy here for each of them. In addition, we have Sunflower Lioness, aka Iwalani Venerable, to sing us songs that will soothe the most savage beast, and we're the richer for it.
We got pieces.
Also
We got
huge,
pieces.
also huge thank you to Specs for allowing us to do this here. Thank you Specs, thank you Specs. This is one of the first gatherings I think they've had, and so far, post-pandemic, and thank you to the great big government for juicing some of us up with the old anti-COVID sauce. No critiquing here. If you don't have it, that's okay. No critiquing. So basically, we're going to get going with a little bit of music, some rhythm from Iwalani. And she's AKA the Sunflower Lioness. She's a musician, vocalist, songwriter, music producer, performing artist, music educator, and filmmaker. She often plays guitar and sings with a live band. Her production is edgy, funky, with a dance vibe. Get yourselves ready. And I'll come up and say a bio for each person, and right now let's welcome Iwalani.
Thank you. Just give me a minute to get my guitar up. What's up, everybody? How you feeling tonight?
Yeah!
I know you got more for me. How you feeling in the back? What's up? It's been a long time since I've seen this many faces in one room, so I'm thankful to be here. Also feeling a little nervous because it's been a while since I played it live in front of people. I've been doing like Zoom concerts, and so that's been really different. So thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
From the old country.
Jim's gonna have to drive.
You'll be alright.
How many drinks have you seen me order in a bar? How many years have we been together?
Right. Wow. Oh, sorry, I got your driver lifted up.
Just like
That was part of
it. Special. So during the pandemic, Hawk and
Seen it. Saw it with my own eyes.
All right, thank you for your patience. My name is Iwalani. I go by the Sunflower Lioness. Yes, you can find me on IG. I haven't even played yet. You know what you're fighting for yet. So, thank you.
I ain't done nothing yet.
I'm gonna play some original tunes. This first song's called Head Case of a Hopeless Romantic. And I really resonate with what you were saying with the number 13. It's a very transformational time for me right now. Actually going through a divorce. I don't want to put my business in the street. But for anybody out there who's dealing with any heartbreak, transformation, transcending, removing of toxic energies, coming into oneself, I feel you. begins again and again. And every time I say I'm through, I feel like, hey, maybe someone of this romantic, foolish tales of love, 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 love. This life goes on as it's hard and yes, yeah, yeah, and stress me along. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Remember your silent face. Oh, you take me to that place, but now you're gone, so gone. And this is a driving time because the world it goes around. But you stay on my mind. And maybe it's the wrong to blame. Yeah, maybe when I'm going insane. Maybe it seems crazy, but it's rattling on my brain. My brain. Like, hey, someone of this romantic. Foolish ideas of love, 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 love. This life goes on as it's hard and fancy. Yeah, yeah, and strings me along. Oh, no. Oh, no, no, You go ahead and follow me if you're on Instagram or any social media. It's the Sunflower Lioness, just all spelled out. Also, if you feel like throwing some Cash App or Venmo at me, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed. All right, this next song is called Find a Way. I was standing around, looking for something, man, waiting around. Waiting for what? Don't really know. Searching my heart so I can break new ground. Yo, broken trees for my people that pass. Shattered mirrors, look into the past. Freedom by the spirit, and I hope y'all hear it. I got a strange feeling that I believe, that I've been seeing. Gonna be okay. Every time that I look for a reason, just to bring the changing of season. Somewhere in the storm that is bringing, I got to find a way. I've got to find a way. And I tell myself, it's gonna be okay. Okay. Find a way, baby. Find a way, yeah. Find a way. Find a way. Got to find a way, baby. Find a way, yeah. Find a way. Sometimes I just don't know where this life might go. So I stay on this road and keep on flowing. But when I look around, and this rat race I found, refuse to be fooled 'cause I'm holding it down. Thank you. Again, my name is Iwalani. Come find me on IG. Love to meet new friends, meet new people. I definitely have some music online if you want to check it out. You can go to the Instagram and hit the link. All the music links are there. I also do children's music. I'm a preschool teacher. I do a music enrichment program, so I have music for kids on my page also, so you can get into that little realm. Anyway, a lot of fun stuff out there, so thank you so much.
Just give Iwalani advice. She will be back. She will play for us again, which is cool. She's gonna have some more songs for us after the readers go. So let's get started with our night of poetry. And I'm not sure if our first reader is gonna need this lectern, but the lectern is here for you, man. But don't let it get in your way.
I appreciate that.
Here's a bit about Paul Corman Roberts. He is, hey, if you know the guy, then you might know that he's worked as a poetry and fiction editor for old warhorse presses and publications such as Red Fez, Full of Crow, Cherry Bleeds, New College Review, Nick Dispatches from Quarantine, and the Fire Thieves Anthology, Fire Thieves 2022. He's thrilled to be a founding member of Collapse Press. His second full-length edition of poetry, Bone Moon Palace, is now available from Nomadic Press. A 3-time Pushcart and Best of Web nominee, he currently teaches workshops for the Older Writers Lab. Is that still a thing? Older Writers Lab currently, and in conjunction with the San Francisco Public Library, as well as the San Francisco Creative Writing Institute, and he sometimes fills in as a drummer for the U.S. Postal Service, and we know what happened to them. Well, we're a little bit in jail.
I dream of the day they can return.
We're in jail right now.
Is that really? Is that right?
We're in jail.
I didn't know that.
That's a weird thing to talk about privately. All right.
Not that you want to put that out on the street or anything. Thank you, everybody. Yes, it's an honor to, as always, it's an honor and a privilege to be expressing creative work on Ohlone Ramaytush land, especially sacred Ohlone Ramaytush land. I will, hi, Tureeda. Did you find parking okay?
I did.
You know, parking's very important, Tureeda.
Yes,
It's
it
very
is.
important to find good, safe parking.
Yes.
Safe parking where you know your ass isn't going to get towed parking.
Right.
That's right. Tureeda and I both had our cars towed the night that the Warriors won their first championship. The night before the parade of the Warriors won their first championship in 50 years. And there was a very big reading going on in downtown Oakland. And we bonded that night over watching our cars go disappear on the back of trucks. And you know, and $600 later, here we are. That's awesome. So thank you so much. Thank you. Big hand for Lonnie Grooves, the Sunflower Linus. Oh my God! How fucking awesome was she? Oh yeah. And KR's gorgeous, beautiful book. Put together by Yusuf Alawi. Give a hand for KR Morrison and Yusuf Alawi for creating this amazing piece of work. You need to buy it. It's important. Okay. I am not going to read from I'm not going to read from my new book because I've been going on way too long already. You get nothing but new shit tonight. This is called The Revision Arc. What can we say about the storm? Other than it shall pick through our bones and trinkets and currencies the way we have picked through our own ancestors' graves, and send them off to be displayed and then re-entombed in a place that is anywhere but home. I call bullshit on Sodom. She never looked back. A sideways Dharma once squatted this ashtray. In timeless places, the angels always have their alibis locked in ahead of the shit show, like any well-organized mob. There is no wrong time for grief. A bruja's tangles twisting in the night breeze, while the angels didn't like that she wouldn't fuck them. They called her names. They called out her name, but she wouldn't look back. The angels always lie, like any organized mob. A murder in the trees, a murder in the air, a murder in the moonlight. Dare you suggest you have not reaped in just this way? Perhaps best not to sow stones. Ecrastic epigraphs are the wave of a future always coming back to us. There is never not a time the future isn't coming for us. Dressed in clothing, driving vehicles we thought we had disposed of out on that road all those years ago. Thank you. This is the High Street liquor bag. I am not proud of my bad habits, but they are my own to own. 10,000 steps are a negotiation to practice better living, to reverse habits and rituals, and to raise the vibration of the heart. But still, it's late March and 80 degrees outside, and I'm on step 6,000 without water. I plan my next stop, the High Street Liquor Store in Alameda. An honest-to-God, Oakland-style liquor store in the middle of an affluent suburban neighborhood. A residential enclave, even. Walking into a cool, poorly lit establishment, I see an older white woman in a wheelchair, buying a bag full of things, getting prices on cigs and lottery tickets. I am here for my own bag. I should be purchasing water, but reaching into the bevy cooler, my hand instead grabs the mocha-flavored shot for one bad habit, and then at the counter, a lighter for another. My bad habits are loaded into my own bag. I say thank you to the Yemeni cashier, her daughter expertly working a device nearby. The sunlight blinds me as I spill out onto the sidewalk. I nearly run into the woman in the wheelchair as she brings a freshly lit Newport to her lips. I look at her over my plague rag, give her a head nod. She doesn't return the nod, but as I pass by, her gravelly voice rasps out, "I ain't been married in 30 years." Launching into my last 4,000 steps, I have to smile because I know damn well she meant to say married. But instead it came out as marred. And I'm thinking she's not wrong.
Wow.
Thank you. I have one more. One more for you. This is called Simple. One Christmas not long ago, I visit home. Clearly down and depressed, more than usual. No job. No prospects. My father tells me, "You just need to get yourself a girl. A simple, easygoing girlfriend who likes to party a little bit but isn't all ambitious and just wants, to keep things mellow." Maybe he feels the need to say these things because I look wound up after a call with an ex. I look at him and say, "Yeah, I'm more into the bi girls, Dad." With a furrowed brow, he asks, "You mean bisexual?" And I answer, "I guess. I mean, sure, bisexual, bi-curious, bi-coastal, binary challenged, biannual, by the bi, and yes, bipolar." I appreciate your support, Pops, but honestly, the simple ones don't do it for me. I'm attracted to the difficult ones, the ones with mixed emotions and even more conflicting desires. The ones who struggle with disassociation and impulse. The ones who, with a flash of their eyes, can unhinge my everyday orbit, send it spinning down any old tangent that cannot be predicted. Never mind the day, but an entire life trajectory can be ruined by an emotional meltdown by the by. And I remember, clear as the California sky, his shoulders slumping downward, as if fitted with a 30-pound bag of laundry. His gaze also follows to the floor and he says, "Well, son, I'm really sorry to learn about that." And to his further dismay, I cackled. I think he recognized something, even though I didn't have the heart to tell him I was just kidding. Sort of. Thank you. Thank you. Get Karen Morrison, you to buy the book. Me too.
By the by, whoa. Thank you, Paul Coleman Roberts. Roberts, thank you very much.
Thank you.
A little applause.
Thank you.
Awesome. And then, actually, William Taylor Jr. lives and writes in the Tenderloin neighborhood of San Francisco.
Until
Not
then,
anymore.
Not no more. This is
I moved up to Pacific Heights.
he moved up to Pacific Heights, but his soul
Specific whites?
still lies dead in the gutters of the Tenderloin. Blood of a Tourist, Sunny Outside 2014, and what's your latest collection? Is
Pretty
this is
things
Pretty
to
Things
say.
to Say.
Yeah.
Is a thing to buy and a thing to read. It's a Pushcart Prize. Nominee was the recipient of the 2013 Academy Award. Please welcome with me the wonderful, darling William Taylor Jr.
All right. Thank you, Yusuf and KR, for just creating this wonderful book and for having me here. And thanks to Specs for having this. It's wonderful to actually be with people again. This is called The North Beach Poets, and it's written with much love and admiration. The North Beach Poets meet each Wednesday night at the bar. And they sit at their table in the middle of the place, and they drink and talk loudly in the dim lights. Yes, I'm talking about this bar. And they shout and they pound their fists upon the wood, and they talk of anarchy and communism and other things that failed. And they talk as if it mattered, and if you had a few drinks, you'll almost believe them. And sometimes they read their poems in loud and authoritative voices, and their poems are filled with words like liberty and freedom and oppression. And they decry the evils of war, as if no one had ever thought to consider such things. And they read their poems with great passion. They read their poems as if they believe them, as if those responsible for things like war and poverty and oppression would cease their shenanigans if they would only pause a moment and listen to the North Beach Poets. But I have my doubts. And the North Beach Poets drink and shout and pound the table deep into the night. And me, I just wish they'd keep it down a bit. I've got my own poems to wrangle with. And right now I'm trying to figure out how to spell the way she laughed. And remember the night, how it felt as it came apart in my hands.
How do you do that by the clapping?
This is called Empty is the New Black. The day crumbles and fails, and we're half-assed Christs nailed to the cross of whatever's left of things. And we drink beer in the Tenderloin, and we grimace beneath the sun. The great American loneliness drips from the walls of the sad hotels, where the poets fuck and die. And the latest thing we thought would save us, we burn through it in a day. And there's a guy with a boombox strapped to his bicycle playing music from another world. You could still imagine something other than the dreariness at hand. And there's a man on a corner leaning on the liquor store. He's got enough losing tickets scattered at his feet. He could build some kind of kite or boat and get the hell away from here. Woo! This is called If Your Loneliness Were a Flag, You Could Wave It. If your loneliness law, you could break it or strike it down. If it were a house, you could set it aflame and watch it glow from the distant hills. If your loneliness were your mother, you could pack your things and run away, make it suffer for the years of pain. If it were a ghost, you could banish it back to the nether realms with a spell or a charm. But your loneliness is a song, and you have an ugly voice. And the neighbors complain every time you try and sing. Called The People in the Books I'm Reading. I'm at the computer with my wine, and there's a man outside my building calling the name of someone he'll never see again. And the drunk poets send me messages telling me how they're sad about their latest poems not getting enough likes and shares, and how they're sad about their unrecognized genius and their unreviewed books. One tells me of an old lover's suicide as she spills wine across the faded letters. Another hasn't slept for days. She says she's enslaved by the phases of the moon. Eddie's muse has skipped town, and Ginny's scared about another 30 days in rehab. Anna stopped drinking, and she's found God, she tells me, this time for good. Frank's checking himself into the psych ward, and they took his dog away. Angry Face is mad because I haven't read his manuscript. And the people in the books I'm reading are all setting things on fire and committing suicide. It's been a bad night all around, and I can't do much for any of it. I'm sad too. I have my own dead lovers and unreviewed books. And now they're putting the guy outside in the back of a car, and as I gaze into the flashing lights, I pour another wine. And I sit down to answer one of the sad messages. And I tell my poet friend not to worry too much. They'll cancel us all eventually.
That's right. That's right. Welcome. Welcome.
Okay. The last one, thank you. That's called a proclamation of sorts. Lately, it's been harder and harder to find the words, and in truth, I don't really mind so much. Having something to say eventually becomes as tiring as everything else. And I reached a point where I'm no longer too proud to proclaim my emptiness. I figure we all have to cop to it eventually. And now, more than ever, I just want to dissolve into the pretty sadness of the day and the perfect gray sky above the lonely apartment buildings and the glittering shards of rain and all the ghosts of the forgotten. And the pretty waitress, she arrives at my table with a beer on the house, and the kindness of her face breaks something within me. And I want to fall into her arms and weep into her breast for everything good and everything lost and everything we have become. And then I figure I should drink my free beer first in case it gets weird. Thank you.
Wow, really breaks my heart. I love it. I love it, and you break my heart, Bill.
That's what I'm here for.
I
Break the
love
heart of the
it.
sun.
I love that dirty pain, man. Okay, wanted to say, so here on our book table is kind of an altar space. So we not altered space, but altar space.
It's altered. I like that altered.
And
it's totally altered.
yeah, so we have ourselves in the front is sweet cakes, and they're for the diosas. And so it's a little ofrenda that we have here.
Deliciosos.
And then and so that's and then in the end, very end, we'll be handing out a piece of this cake. So it's kind of like the sin eater, where they rest the bread on the chest of the dead, and then the sin eater eats it and consumes the sins of the dead, so they can go on to the. Anyway, this is a heavy. I'm trying not to get heavy. But anyway, so this is, we will participate in the taking on in the sweet bread, and it's part of the wrapping up the evening. And come up, and we'll be signing books and selling them at the end. And so I just wanted to say a little bit about that. And Billy reminded me of rain. Man, we haven't had rain in a long time. So I was down in Mexico for a while, trying to bargain with their rain god named Tlaloc. I'm just trying to get them to come up here for a visit. Just
Yeah,
trying
that
to
would be
get them to
nice.
come up.
Would be nice.
So I've bought a little mud deity of Tlaloc, and I'm gonna talk to him when I get back home. We're gonna talk. We're gonna have a little talk. See. And that brings us to Kim Shuck. Kim Shuck was born in San Francisco, California, and is a member of the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma. She received a BA of Art and an MFA in textiles from San Francisco State University. Shuck is the author of Deer Trails Forthcoming from City Lights books.
Years ago.
Years ago. This is an old.
One of those bios.
That's my fault. Clouds Burning In, Rabbit Stories, Smuggling Cherokee, as well as a chapbook collection, Sidewalk NDN. Is that
And
Sidewalk Ended?
Fire Thieves, Exile Heart.
In 2019, Shuck was named the Academy, and the new book is Here, Exile Heart. And please buy copies. Shuck was named the Academy of American Poets Laureate Fellow, and she currently works in the California College of Art in the Diversity Department. No, and that's no. It's old. I've dug this up from the internet.
they didn't rehire me.
And she is the Poet Laureate Emeritus of San Francisco, California. And please tell us how it really is. Thank you, Kim Shuck.
We're going to talk about that all
The outdated bio is my fault. I sent him 3 lines of bio.
You deserve it then.
Because I write very short poems, and I've noticed that lately my bio seems to be longer than anything I've brought to read, and that's a little embarrassing. I'm usually better at that, except I'm also holding glasses and books.
It's a thing.
Thanks for coming out tonight. KR's book is amazing. I'm not sure how we got the Sin Eater to Tlaloc to me. That's where we are.
Logical progression.
I might read a little about water, who knows.
Ooh.
But this first one's called Highway. Route 66 was the river we all lived with, knowing its habits and fauna, the sacred diners, the cafes on its shores, the seasonal overflow. There's a mythology there that blurs between cultures. No Fred Harvey, but it replaced the railroad next food second floor of the big TV. Sometimes a hawk not quite dead on the blacktop, the one that marked me with a clenching foot, a reflex between French toast, scrambled eggs, cubed ham, tangy coffee, when I still smoked cigarettes and Grandpa had a bronze American Leviathan. The whorehound drops. Jerky moccasins gas, incandescent constellations of towns at night, telling their very own stories. Unknown to us, so many ghosts along this river that we share, these pinpricks of similarity, these hauntings, this long man, such crime, such home place. This is called Poetry of Absence. Reflake the edge of your elegant knife. I watched her writing blank verse on a fogged window, then pulling the words like fine cordage from that cold, rigid surface. Whatever will she weave? Ravens have come to my windowsill, they tap, a code of beaks and wingspan. We chew nuts together and think, collectively, about rivers. This is called Another Weight. The Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria have been carried overland for far too long. Every indigenous child handed a ballast stone at birth, 5 adults massed on shoulder, 4 young women untangling the rigging, and elders folding sun-dried sails flaked with salt, walking the southern wagon trails to the Pacific like an unhealthy song. They sing Everyone West for all time. We've carried Chris in our pockets. Our shoes are muddied with him and word of him. Our faces are marked, our hands muscle sore, our voices frogged with songs of the lost. The planks have been sent out into the California surf, but they float back. Every October, they wash back up on shore. This one's called Borders Get In Through the Eyes. Some mornings we bring the border with us. Nothing is inexplicable. You are a hostage to your gendered body. Respond faster. React faster. The keys are complicated or illegal, bound in with some confused moral scaffolding that still holds womanhood as judgment, and we're judged by what we owe, even to people we've never met, never imagined. You brought your borders with you, and they are apt to expand without notice. Prone to mess. Slivers of border like the Ice Queen's shards might get in through the eyes and sing change, vibrate change. People like us are unpredictable. We're an inoculation. We bring the borders along. We bring them with us.
That's right.
Have to read the sunflower poem. Sunflowers arrive at the front door. They pick through beads, they stare through them, whisper poems through the pine trees, one word at a time. Because these days are short, every seed watches, and who knows what they're thinking. Generational affiliation, I find dried seeds in the toes of my shoes. Singing of dancing, of medicine, I find dried seeds every day closer to the creek. It isn't patience, it's hunger.
Woo!
Am I gonna? I was gonna do something there. I've changed my mind. So the 13 thing, my grandmother was born on December 13th, and my son started being born on the 9th of August, but ended up being born on the 13th of August. Yep, that's 4 days of labor, y'all.
Yeah.
Forgot to mention, I'm born on the 13th.
I'm gonna finish with this one. For another Cherokee kid. We wanted catfish and wild garlic. Together in silence, a cottonmouth ripples across the caved-in pond, and who knows what noun will hit on the bait. A modified verb grabbed clean from nearby leaf. Locusts sing out deep hopes back to us, unrecognizable. We wanted so little, so little. We wanted catfish and wild garlic. We wanted to feed these mad and beating creation songs near the river's eye, a place between worlds, right down near the front of the stage.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
Nice. Woo! Yes. I had book.
Thank you, Kim Shuck. That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Another round of applause for Kim Shuck.
Yeah. In North Beach.
I'm going to keep the mic down low, but I'm going to choke up on it. You guys can hear me in the back perhaps a little bit better. Okay, great. So I feel like a baseball announcer. Tureeda Mikell
Yeah.
is I'm going to provide light in case there's not enough light for you. That's cool. Everything's good. Story medicine woman, poet, instructor, qigong energy therapist, award-winning poet, educator, is director of the Tree of Life Health Literacy Project. Good. Published nationally and internationally, published over 60 at-risk student anthologies throughout 4 counties in the San Francisco Bay Area. Was FNOTNU WA International Storytelling Delegate in Beijing, China. October 2018 was delegate for National and International Writing Project, Writing for the Urban Child. Tureeda has been called an activist for holism, word magician, and woman of truths hell-bent on asserting life. She has introduced renowned poets and writers such as the Last Poets. Oh, we just did a film with them. Well, not all of them, but Avia Dune. Oh, yeah, Dune on Coney Island. Amiri Baraka, Marvin X, host of other established writers and poets. Recent publications include Black Gold, the anthology reflections of collaboration with Emmy Award winning artist James Gales and 20-year anniversary of German Voices. Synchronicity.
Right.
Sun Oracle Medicine
Yes.
is an incredible book. And apparently this is a new word to me, just got nominated for the California Book Award.
Woo! Hell yeah!
Please welcome with me Tureeda Mikell.
Tureeda!
I'm
Good?
it's not about me today, so I'm gonna just like memorize stuff. I'm not gonna try and
Yes.
do a lot of reading, so, but thank you.
Okay.
KR, oh my gosh, yes, okay. And this 13 thing, right? And Cherokee. Great grandmother, Cherokee Irish. Her father saved my great grandfather from being lynched in Mississippi.
Nice.
I have a similar story.
And then they had 13 children.
I hope you're writing that story.
I'm working on it. So I'm going to do the title of the book, which it is about the sun. And so this is my ode to the sun. My son, I will speak for you. Those scriptures mask your testimony from eyes that once knew your light. Watched you walk upon waters, oversee flora, fauna, mammal, animal, bird, and sea creature. Obey your season's will, my son. Your guard and legacy, deed you master, alchemist, chef, cook, sorcerer of elements. You feed multitudes, flavoring nature's seed womb, my son. Why falsify your records? Hide your light. Cut circuitry from innocent eyesight, masquerading one vow well with idol sacrifice, my son. Unclean spells stray from holy wellness, creates hell for pathologic wealth, degenerates generations, my son. An icon reads, think not I come to bring peace on earth. I come not to bring peace, but a sword. Why destroy peace on your wheel done? You are reason life on earth rolls through heaven. Instead, greed eats away trees, disconnects energies, deviates gravity, habitats for humanity, erodes truth, integrity destitute, disputing life roots. They brainwash memory, branding you secondary, awaiting a messiah as though your soul or light is not required, my son. Too many religious saviors, too many competitive death plans. Too many eyes look away from your radiance to revere a rote man, my son. I need not wait for your return. Your morning light never ceases for what I yearn. You are my testimony, my sojourn, my light, my son. You not born of man or woman. You true light of this world. You, my son, are holy reed, our spark of light that never sleeps. In heart and lung, as we breathe, my son, eyes will always rise to acknowledge you.
Woo!
Yeah.
On a lighter note, but lighter, okay. We are on a lonely land. We're on indigenous land, and birds are going through it too.
Yeah.
Gentrified bird warning. Upstairs, West Oakland bark. I wait for train. When pain from above nudges my brain, I look up. Little bird looks down. Asks, "What you looking at?" Balance between spiked beams says, "You took our trees, homes, dare us to live, dare us to rest, build a nest, have a family, you lie. We see you ride inside that loud fat worm underground. You threw away our trees for that."
Yep.
When our Savior, Pterodactyl the Most High, returns, he'll suck you out that loud-ass maggot and spit out your bones. Fuck you! I'm here! She turns her back, attends home, spikes threatening her life at every turn.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm going to do a little something in appreciation of life, families, birds, another birds thing. This is called Sparrow's Eye, because it's, Sparrow's Eye. One sunny Sunday afternoon, ascending stairs at Jack London Square on the courtyard partially barred, I sit at its pinnacle. By bathe this day of heat, my senses drink greedily. Vault of heaven, bright blue, swaddles family hues, women, men, children, babies, eyes, laugh, talk, pleasing, folk walking easy, winds blowing breezy. I lift my head toward skies when suddenly Sparrow graces my horizon, lands right in front of me, delivers another kind of peace. I feel silent, serene, when all at once its feathers flutter. My spine tingles, I shudder. Like mirrors, we look directly into one another and cock our heads to the same side. A moment of unity confides. We share and stare. Then Sparrow flies and flies with a piece of my light, and Sparrow's in me. 3 days later, near my lap's end, another sparrow descends, so quick, so near, without fear. It was as if Sparrow demanded I stop. So I did, as it hopped from my right to my left and looked up at me. Must be a kindred spirit, I think. Amazed, I look down at this little miracle on the ground and sense a heaviness release. I feel lighter, a bit more free. Then Sparrow flies and flies with a piece of my light, and Sparrow's in me. Now the next day, baby, the next day, more happens than I wish to say, but Sparrow's theme continued to play Thursday night, open mic at Inner City's blues joint. I sat listening to poetry and prose as spoken word neared its close. A woman asked Inner City if she could sing, so she sang this very old song. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. Well, I know the sparrows have been watching me. The sparrows have been watching me. Thank you.
Pure sparrow magic. Just
Oh, no. Let's just say KR, when I read through her mystical, magical work, right? I mean, just so sensitive and sensual. You'll enjoy. Please, please.
Bye.
That's right.
Oh man. K.R. Morrison. He's a poet and drummer who teaches English literature and
Yes.
creative writing to the inner city youth of California. She fell in love with San Francisco once upon a time. And that was when she earned a BA in philosophy from USF. You guys still hear me okay?
You gotta speak up, man.
Kinda.
You gotta kind of mumble it.
Basically, her emphasis on medieval philosophy, Gothic art, and architecture. She also earned a teaching credential. These days, Morrison writes and teaches online by the sea, a place where she calls Mermaid Town. These days, her home is where the sea is. In the transition. Without further ado, please.
Yes. Yeah.
Needless to say, I'm very excited. Needless to say, I'm very blessed because this is my very first book publication, and to have these poets and this musician here to back me up, it's unreal. It's more than just invite some local poets to read with me. These are people I learned from that shaped me, and I think you can see why. So big thank you to Tureeda and Kim and William and Paul, Yusef, Paper Press. That's I'm just really grateful. This is awesome. And it couldn't have come out better. This is like a dream.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So, I brought a bunch of fresh things because I don't know if this is normal for people who publish books. You get tired of the poems in it.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, oh, fuck these poems. I got new stuff.
You gotta give us something.
There are friends here and family here that never make my readings, and only
That's
because
right.
life is busy and things happen.
That's right.
And so I'm going to read some poems that some people in here have heard several times because I'm just so excited that they're here. They know who they are, family, friends, bands. My band, Harriet's here.
Good band.
High school folk, read black. That's crazy. All right. Holly Hardy's here.
What?
Which
Jesus.
I almost cried, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna start with. I'm gonna read two from the book, and then I'll read some other stuff not in here. So I'm gonna start with where'd Rune go? There we go. This is called Rune. If you buy the book, you can have a copy. Rune. I cast 9 switchblades made of my skin. Black cactus reminders I bury in you. I resurrect in memory basements. My naked ghost dances ice-cold footprints through your backbone mazes. I kick rocks, turn over stones. I graffiti soul ruins so those conquistadores smell our magic, so your wounds know. I cast 9 gritas in you, bruja echoes for every poema that holds you like my bed, for every meal you eat alone that tastes of me. So every painting or story made by left hands summon you and me. For new moons that turn her back from your hands, I cast your nights dark as the dead end you left in a sweet witch's heart. About the crazy, catastrophic, traumatic 2020 we all got to live together. I'll probably only read one. It's in the book, One Nation Under Murder. I hear ancestors beneath my skin. Southern dead sing heavenly hymns. I clench grief and boil. Blisters rise from my deerskin fists. Lovers can't breathe. I hold my breath. Whips possess my nails. Slice lynched country into my flesh. I smell spells here. Inhale the conjuring. Breathe out the casting. Revolution and reform argue at a dinner table like a tired couple, their marriage arranged. Daughter Justice, she rolls her eyes, dresses in a wardrobe that's restless. She itches to break curfew, curses progress. She envisions beyond the food at the table. I hear karmic returns hatching, so many seeds sprouting, loud flowers blooming from systemic stems, from brave weeds. I hear scar anthems sprouting. Some of us march. Our bone collections stir orbit storms. We take bullets for too many dead. Some of us harbor graveyards in our stomachs. For justice, we bury our silence. Under America's democracy dirt, for justice, we turn blue. We hold our breath. I want to read this one because it's my favorite to read. It gets me all pumped up. This is for every women identified in this room. Everything we have to hear. Everything we deal with that makes no sense. It's called She's History. Don't talk too much. You might scare them away. Talk more. You're not interesting enough. You're not enough. Enough with your mouth. Don't do too much. If you do too much, he will feel he's not needed. He will feel he isn't. He will feel. Beware of too many woman words and your backbone birds. Be quiet. That's too much. Watch your questions. Too many questions stir the wrong pots. Do less. That way he knows he's needed. That way he knows you know you need him. That way he knows he is. Do more. That way he knows you know there's always more. Create for him. Decorate for him. Procreate for him. Make him think life was his idea. Soothe his stress. Rekindle his carpe diem. Stop stressing. You're thinking too much. Don't cause his distress. This is too much. Stay mysterious, but undress. Shed just enough to keep his interest. Try harder. Don't try too hard. Give yourself to him. Your guardian arms, your fresh squeezed wounds, your stir-fried stomach, your virgin sheets, your stained bed, your secret nest, your slow cooker, your sore feet, your holy womb, your open legs. Mind is soul food, but say no to that apple. Don't forget to look good when you say no. Arouse him. It's your fault if he eats that apple. Scrub, mop, polish, disinfect his godness. Hang drapes, frame paintings. Host in his ribcage that makes you. Satisfy him, sex him, or else he'll stray. A fulfilled man never strays. Spark his urges. High heels make pretty legs. Keep him guessing. Don't confuse him. Don't keep him waiting. Don't ask too many questions. There you go again, getting loud. When you speak those feelings, baby girl, you're being too aggressive. Watch it. Watch that aggression. A bleeding woman's words are his deflection. Don't be boring. Talk more. Wait, you're talking too much. You might scare him away. Serve. Serve his desires with side dishes. Serve his desire before he knows what he desires. Serve himself to him. Stop thinking so much. Again, you talk too much. You're not enough. Enough with your mouth. Give him a break. Think about how he feels. You want to keep him. You best stop with all that feeling. Matter of fact, stop with all that thinking. Don't plant words into his mouth. When you share your thoughts, that's you, Lady Earthquake. Give him space. Wait. Wait for when he's ready. He'll come around. He'll come. He'll come on his man watch. Learn to tell man time, his time. Man scientists just call it time. Learn his history. Make pretty house nests for his conquest. Plan his ancestor parties. Hang up the dead deer. Wipe clean his conflict. conflicts. Don't be so complex. Learn to be quiet. Wash your mind, wash your mouth. Build a nest for his story. History. Her story bleeds of history.
Yeah.
Paul, that was
Yeah.
Paul, that was a poem from the bipolar girl.
I love her. I fucking love her.
Can we get a hand for you, Alani, and her beautiful music? So I have a poem for you. Well, I brought a bunch of new stuff, and I wasn't gonna read this one, but I'm gonna read it for you because of your DIVORCE. Fuck you.
Oh, no, not it.
Okay, how to write a lover goodbye. Light the sage, but don't forget to burn some skin. Maybe a hole in the sofa. That stained and possessed red honeymoon where you two exchanged secrets, fucked, fell asleep to movies, spooned. Open the windows so when spirit arrives like some lady Viking with ice cream in a shitty movie, the smoke will send him away. His shadows and scent stuck to your hair will leave. Hear her childhood cry off your walls. Hear her slide into wind like a highway melting hot from her wounds. Dismiss his wounds from your throat, maybe gargle. Salt mixed with whiskey works well, but be careful not to swallow. Those words taste too good. Turn on Slayer. Braid your hair with every bend and list words to all the why. Throw out the garbage that somehow hasn't left the bed. Stale sheets, cold pillows that cut at the musk from his head. Beneath the mattress leave bay leaves. On them write, you don't get another poem. I rise from my dead. That's for lost love. 13. So what hasn't been said is it's the divine feminine number. Depending on this.
Can we get more volume?
Oh, you need some more volume?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Thank you. It's the divine feminine number. It's the Blessed Mother's number. It's a lot of different facets of witchcraft. The number carries divine feminine power. It's why it was chosen. Interestingly, the number found me, though, through my mother. And the one love of her life used to bring her 13 yellow roses every week. We lost him to suicide when I was almost 4 years old, which pretty much set the tone. And she loved him all the way through life, and I would send her those 13 yellow roses from him, right up to the last Mother's Day before she passed. So this is a poem. It actually just got published by The Bloom about that man and my mother. His name was John Holder, but we called him BJ. About the man we called BJ, Mom said, he introduced me to myself. Youngest of 5, her thirstiest child. What a love story. It's red words in life's thick book of black scripture. 40 years later, she basked in love with him still. Silver-haired, her heart bags packed for the great reunion. I watched her wander those memories behind schoolgirl eyes, protecting their private labyrinth, no trespassing. She repeats these words like lullaby, as if rocking me on a porch rather than trapped in her hospice bed, every word wrapped in nectarine dawn, like I'd never heard them. For her, I pretend traditional, vintage love never gets old, sensing she doesn't mean what us riot girls detest. Those of us above graves, lovers alive enough to honor androgyny, bury gender, we too are introduced to ourselves in the heart havoc. Love that drops its bombs via messengers, when the soulmates come. Such bloody love stirs in eclipse, plants seeds in dark moons. Ancestor patterns crash into us through retrograde reruns. In the wounds we breathe, we recreate. So many of us, we rediscover ourselves in that thorned red nest. Love disarming, so paths repave. Wardrobe and lover catechisms. So, Holly Hardy's here. I said that. There's really no reason. Holly should be up here reading before I do, because that's my nest right there. It's where I got my start in her workshops and at Saturday Night Special and at Mix and Lounge in Oakland. And I love her workshops. For any writers in here, I highly recommend them. But in there, we had the option to write like a historical fiction piece of someone famous, and I worked on it a little since then. I don't know if she remembers it, but she's here. I'm going to read it, and where we are, I should read it. Anyone know who Grace O'Malley is?
Yes.
Yeah, Irish pirate. Bringing her back to life. It's called The March. On Bob Kaufman Alley, Grace O'Malley emerges from a forgotten red door, lock busted above years of fading graffiti, hinges rusted from countless decades of red-headed weather. Upon Grace's presence, a lucky Irish blessing, the bay fog comes, cauldroning the sky into thick hammocks of velvet gray for the madness of recent seasons, for the grand gunfight called 2020. On Grant Avenue, Grace turns, fire hair above eyes boiling like two torches, sea flame. She sirens poets from Vesuvio Cafe. Crews of mothers and kids follow suit. Down Columbus they march. Grace shouts, "He wanted to make this place white supremacist again. We must end his message, burn his patriarchy down." They say in Ireland she was a cast iron teapot searching for some steaming water. So the man pens wrote her away. They didn't want long locks tangling in their boat ropes. No room for sea thieves with wounds. No pirates that could pillage and create. At Washington Square, she hands children spears. The women get torches for protection. Together, they wait. "I have a surprise for you," declares Grace. She inhales a drag from her cigarette. Young children carousel around her Viking thick legs. Just then, a man emerges from the church. So a mother shouts, "My God, I must be dreaming. Is that Martin Luther King?" Grace smiles, her divine feminine beaming. Before them, the American king. She heard from marches. This warrior had feet covered in golden palaces. This man confronted the pillagers. For Lady Liberty, he bled. To the torches and blades, Dr. King finally spoke to us. He says, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." His sunset voice thaws San Francisco's cold winds, cutting their faces. A weathered woman comes forward, her eyes tired, bags beneath them packed with bloody clothes, shards of broken promises, too many evictions she's faced. Before Dr. King and Miss Grace, she says, "They got books, Dr. King, but none of them seem to read. They leave flowers at your statues, quote you in these silly computer postcards they call memes. But when the bullets come flying, they lynch you, all your lessons on their shirt, all of your lessons. On their shirts, it says Black Lives Matter. But when I walk by, they still get nervous and clutch their purse. Others call us liars, say our news is fake. They choke our babies till they can't breathe. We know you don't like violence, but we're tired of being seen, not heard. We bring these spears and this fire because the peaceful world's words broil, stuck in our throats. Help us, dear Dr. King. Make those racists afraid again. Make their America burn into your dream, into we wish to transform. I was not done. I had to read it. As inspired by where we are at this very place. So, all right, I got one last one. Thank you, Yusuf, very much for all of this beautiful book, paper press. I don't really have anything to compare this to, but this was just so professional and efficient, and it couldn't have come out better. So I'm really grateful. Tureeda, you're my heart. Kim, Paul, William, Iwelani. And you're coming up right after me, right? Good. Okay. It's called Elections. It's the last one. I pick poets. I pick women who slay guitars. I pick women who spit in your ego face. I pick the kid who can pick your pocket, who also carries a single woman's groceries. I want the woman tired of being tired, while her sons visit father graves, engraving new revolutionary sons. I pick the fighter, the vagrant, the sick, the manic Joan of Arc in all her mistakes. I pick the wounded who elections later you praise when history suits you. I pick my brother's backyard. I choose my sister's shotgun seat. I pick men who insist on his own revising. I pick families who stick together. I pick bare feet. I pick feet who walk out of this suicide and awaken to new love, to karmic returns long spoken. I pick love pure. I pick poetry whispering from sidewalks. Thank you.
We're gonna wrap this up. Thank you all for your wonderful faces, your wonderful attention, and welcome back to the waking up, to the Renaissance in arts and society. We're coming back, and yeah, you want to get ready, and it was so cool. So Iwelani's up. Stick around, buy a book, buy a poster. We got 13 only. Buy a poster, they're $5, and then the book is 13. So man, I'll be making change. Or otherwise, Venmo works. And how's it going? All right. So Iwelani.
Woo! What's up, everybody? I'm gonna vibe out on a beat that I produced. I love writing songs. It's my poetry, and so this song I'm gonna share with you. I haven't performed live. It's a new song. It's actually a tribute to my family, my dad who passed away, and my tia who passed away recently. And I'll tell you a little bit about my name. I go by the Sunflower Lioness, and I actually changed it recently. Some people might know me as what I used to go by, which was Lonnie Grooves, for many, many years. And then just in 2020, I felt really disconnected from that name. And I had recently lost one of my closest aunties, my tia Margaret, and one of her favorite flower was a sunflower.
Wow.
And I love sunflowers. I'm a Leo, so that's why I'm the lioness. Right? Hey, fires, yes. Yeah. I'm a Cancer Leo cusp, right? So I got
there you go.
watery stuff. Anyway, this song is dedicated to my family who passed. And it's like a spoken word hip hop kind of beat. It's actually out on my Bandcamp page if you want to go download it after. Let me just track that real quick. This is new for me because I usually just perform with my guitar, so it's more vulnerable to be like naked without the guitar, you feel me? So just bear with me. I made this beat. If you need some beats for your songs, hit me up. Sitting with you, sipping something warm, something to sip on to heal your mind, body, sipping with you. As I get a grip on the fact that you're gone, time of the day one day at a time. Time flies when you're having fun, but fun hardly flies when you got no one. Companion, amigo, a friend, a day one day at a time. Slowly we go, but don't creep though. Have fun, do a sweet show. Miss you being in the front row. I can only do my best to continue to grow. And remember, if I was sitting with you, sipping with you, the way we used to laugh, the way we used to eat. Hella food, hella treats. Tamales and black beans, briskets and buns, cornbread and collard greens, tequila and rum. Pour the coffee, pour the tea. Sit with you, sit with me, sit with you, sit with me. Sip some wine, sip some tea. Sitting with you one more time before you pass. I would make it last forever, a moment in time. Extend in my mind, fossilized, a permanent reminder that you're still here with me. Sitting and sipping with me. Sitting with you, sipping something warm, something to sip on to heal your mind, body. Sipping with you. My bad. Yeah. Second verse. Leaves are coming down, they're falling down to September. I remember how you like to sip your cafe, 2 lumps of sugar, piping hot, steaming from the top. Oh, this is the part. I remember how you like to sip your cafe, 2 lumps of sugar, piping hot, steaming from the top. Black coffee, no cream. Take a sip and I remember when you came to my dream that night and you told me to remember the light. You told me I can only see you when the lights are on. And now I feel you in every song. I'ma sit with you, I'ma sit with you. Sitting and sipping. Sitting with you. Sipping something warm, something to sip on and heal your mind, body. Sipping with you. As I get a grip on the fact that you're gone. Time of the day one day at a time. Time flies when you're having fun, but fun hardly flies when you got no what. Sitting with you. This is dedicated to anybody who's lost someone close to them, family, friends, loved ones. I actually lost my best, most dearest, closest bestie about a month ago. She passed from brain cancer. And she actually was around when I wrote this song, when I was developing this song, so she was able to hear it. And she just passed away June 14th this year. I still live at her house, actually. We were roomies. And we did a lot of music. She's my music counterpart, my greatest music collaborator, and now she's gone. So, you know, the music is a healing, you feel me? just be able to share that pain that other people can relate to is really important. So I really appreciate you guys holding space for me.
Sunflower Linus!
And if you guys don't mind, I'd like to do another tribute to my friend Monica. She was also a music educator, a children's entertainer like myself, and we worked together closely. We wrote a lot of kids' music, and we had a duo. We called ourselves Everyday Party, because our philosophy was you should live every day like your life is a party. And so we have some kids' music under that band name. You can look up on my link tree on my IG. Everyday Party. We got a couple albums out. But this is more of a call and response, so I'm going to need y'all's help. I know we got some musicians in the building, so I need you guys to help me out. We're going to raise the vibration of the room because it's been a long time since we've been in community, in person with a lot of people. And so this is what I do with the children to bring us together in community. Call and response. So I'm going to sing some words. You guys be my echo. Okay?
All right.
Did y'all hear me? I said okay?
You okay?
All right. It's just 3 sounds. Oh, man, my. Okay, I'll sing first. Oh, man, my. Oh, man, my. Oh, me, my, oh. Oh, me, my, oh. Oh, man, my. Oh, man, my. Oh, me, my, oh. Let's get some feet. Oh, me, my, oh. You better stop on beat. Oh, man, my. Oh, man, my. Oh, me, my, oh. Your turn. Oh, me, my, oh. Oh, man, my. Oh, man, my. Oh, me, my, oh.
Oh, me, my, oh.
More breath. Let's go. Oh, man, my.
Oh, me, my.
Oh, me, my, oh. Come on.
Oh, me, my,
Don't be
oh.
scared. Oh, man, my.
Oh, me, my.
Oh, me, my, oh.
Oh, me, my, oh.
Yeah. Everybody wants to be in Oakland. This is a lonely land. Clap, clap. Everybody wants to be in Oakland. This is a lonely land. We got black bears in the hills. Coyotes used to howl. Ow! That's your part. Ow! You barely see the deer anymore, but the red-tailed hawk still flies. The red-tailed hawk still flies. Come on. Okay, this time we're going to say everybody wants to be in San Francisco. Everybody wants to be in San Francisco. This is a lonely land. Again. Everybody wants to be in San Francisco. This is a lonely land. We got black bears in the hills. Coyotes used to howl. Ow! You barely see the deer anymore, but the red-tailed hawk still flies. The red-tailed hawk still flies. Ah, ah. Okay.